Report says secret U.S. database is being used to track activists, journalists and lawyers tied to the migrant caravans headed to the U.S. border. Franc Contreras joins us in Mexico City now with more. Frank.
Thanks, John. Yes, reactions to this secret database being held by the United States government has provoked reactions ranging from surprise to complete despair, John. The list, as you mentioned, singled out lawyers, journalists, and advocates for migrants' rights, many of whom, by the way, are U.S. citizens operating and working here from Mexico, covering the United States-Mexico border. All those people today started to get a more clear picture of just what this database contains. It has things like their names, their addresses, passport photos, social media usage data, and there appear to be about 59 people listed on this clandestine database. It could be more, though, according to some advocates. Some of these people, including reporters, were detained at the United States-Mexico border for further questioning. And advocates and experts we spoke to for this story call this a very clear violation of free speech rights under the U.S. Constitution.
Which is shocking because it's proof of what we already suspected, that this government is using totalitarian tactics, not only against migrants and refugees who are seeking safety in the United States, who in many cases are fleeing danger, but against the people who support them and even the people who portray them as human beings.
Frank, what explanation is the Trump administration giving for the existence of this database?
John, the Trump administration, especially the Department for Homeland Security, tries to explain this by saying that it was going to use the database to question journalists and migrant rights advocates of possible crimes that may have been taking place while these so-called migrant caravans were trying to make their way to the United States in recent months. As you recall, this was happening just ahead of last November's midterm elections, John. The Trump administration then seized on the opportunity and tried to make immigration and the U.S.-Mexico border key issues in U.S. politics. You've been covering it there in Washington, having to do with border government shutdowns and such. Organizations that protect free speech rights are now investigating this. They want to see whether the creation of this database violates a border search authority by U.S. government officials. It does give the appearance the United States government and the Trump administration are targeting journalists and lawyers and even advocates of migrants' rights here in Mexico. And of course, let's not forget, John, all this has been taking place right around the same time that Donald Trump was calling the free press in the United States the enemies of the public.
Franc Contreras in Mexico City, thank you.